Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the tragedy continues in Ukraine and the most hurt are the Ukrainians, the Ukrainian population, the nation of Ukraine. And this is how it happened in many times before, when you have the instigators and you have others which are not the instigators being the ones that are hurt. In this case, Ukrainians are without electricity, water, and under continuous bombardment. Just because they can't come to a solution. Just because they are not allowed to come to a solution. Because their kosher leadership and their employers, the Zimbabweans, from Atlantic think that the Ukrainians did not have enough yet. So unbelievable. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda and it's from November 6th, 2022. More than 4.5 million consumers remain without electricity, mostly in Kiev and Kiev Oblast. Remember, it is November and that's Ukraine. I think it's kind of cold over there and unbelievable. Yeah, it's criminal. As of Sunday evening, more than 4.5 million consumers remain disconnected from the electrical grid in Ukraine, most of them in Kiev city and Oblast. Source: President Kosher Zelenski in his evening address. And I'm quoting, "As of this evening, rolling power outages are continuing in Kiev and 6 oblasts. More than 4.5 million consumers are without electricity. Now, most of them are in Kiev and Kiev Oblast. It's really difficult. Not for you." And they said, the Ukrainian authorities, the Kiev authorities, issued a warning that maybe the citizens, or how should I call them, the civilians of Kiev, the dwellers of Kiev, should plan on moving out of Kiev. And that's the biggest city in Ukraine. The details. Zelensky noted that this week he held meetings with government officials, with representatives of energy companies and oblast administrations regarding possible options for the situation in the energy sector. And I'm quoting, "No matter what the terrorists want, no matter what they try to achieve, we must endure this winter and be even stronger in the spring than we are now," he emphasized. All this because nobody wanted to implement those Minsk agreements. I will continue to beat a dead horse. And because of the overthrow of the legitimate government in 2014, Yanukovych government, democratically voted, corrupt as it was, like this one and the one before this one and the one before that one, with the guarantors, Germany and France, of those agreements, 8 years of not doing anything led to this. Now, I would like to ask the Ukrainian population, wouldn't it have been better to follow those agreements that your government signed in 2014 and in 2015? I think yes. I think the alternative is much better than this one. And even if, I don't even know what to say about this, because I'm going to be an idiot saying that, but I will continue. What are the alternatives? Are you going to win? How are you going to win? How do you plan on winning? This is another, did you ask yourselves? You're told we're going to win. Like, what do you mean? Will you push the Russians out of those territories that are considered by the Russians their territory now, legal territory, you know they're going to use they can use nuclear weapons, and you lose 100%. And those guys, your sponsors, lose 100%, and the Russians lose 100%. We all lose 100%. So what kind of win you have in mind? This is where they got. Things will not get better. And your leaders, your guys in charge of you, I'm talking to the Ukrainian nation, not with the kosher 4 little pigs in charge, 4 little kosher pigs actually. Reznikov, Yermak, Zhmihal, and Yermak. They're all the same. And somehow they command your country. So what do you think is going to be next? Jesus Christ is going to show up? Or what? Moses? Who's going to show up? To do what? How do you envision winning? There's only one way that you might be winning. And that is if all those guys in the Kremlin area are gone. Just like this. All in the same day. I'm talking about Putin, Medvedev, Lavrov, Peskov, Zakharova, Pushilin, and whomever are over there. All those guys gone. The bad dudes. Now how can you have that done? You can't start a revolution in Russia because the approval rating over there for Putin's job is almost 80%. Biden is 39 and Macron is 34, 24, 20, something like that. So go figure. You can't do that. Then how will you do that? You wait for Putin to die? You're gonna die before he dies. How long should we give him? 5 years? In 5 years you are no more. So that option is gone. Winning militarily, there's no way you win militarily. So what are you talking about? You will have to, unfortunately, pick up the pieces that you have to pick up right now and discuss with the Russians the current situation. Because there's no way you're going to push them to wherever, to the borders where they were before February 24th. And even if you do that, you were to that point before February 24th. Why didn't you agree with the settlement then? You want to go back to something that you disagreed with? Remember, you fought those provinces, eastern provinces, since 2014. And you're going to still fight them. Why? Because there are Russians over there living. And they do not like you even more now. So how do you think you're going to tame them? I know how you're going to tame them. How the Soviets did with the Polish intelligentsia in the Katyn forest. They're going to shot them in the back of their heads and they're going to bury them in the forest. That's what they're going to do. You don't believe me? Why, do you think these guys are angels? No. With so much passion right now, so much hatred, a few Katyns are going to happen. So, I don't know, I suggest that you pick up your pieces that you lost here and you accept it as it is if you want to start over something. Otherwise, you're going to go lower and lower and lower. It's nothing that is like opening to you. It's just closing. The door is closing, 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 as it seems. So instead of closing, discuss the negotiate when it's almost closed. Negotiate now that it's a little bit wider. I would suggest, or if you want, die and fight until the last. That's another option. But I don't think that's what you want. I mean, if you want to do that, do that. That's your option. I'm just saying that the way I see things going, you're going to be exterminated for someone else's interest. This is what bothers me. Because if there would be really, the Russians invaded you, yeah, by all means defend your country against the invaders, as they say, and go and fight like the Serbs fought the Nazi invaders. Yes, I'm for that 100%. But the problem is, it's not like that. It's more to the story. And unfortunately, that more to the story changes the whole story. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.